Let's have a look at this AMA thing. So the guys actually sent this over to me the other day, and I haven't listened to it yet. I was going to listen to it last week, but we didn't quite get there. So let's start with like the strings and stuff, and then we'll do the percussion, because I feel like the percussion is the point. So let's try out some of these textures and things. Apito da grillo. Right. Anytime someone says something today, right, you're off. I appreciate the instrument. All right, so these are just like the little... Just use a different piano, see if anyone notices. It's not a bad idea. Oh, I like that. So this one's got, like, if you look down at the bottom here, it looks like the yellow ones are phrases. What's the name of this library? It's Amazonic, I believe. Is it Amazonic? It's AMA1 is what it's called here. Look, it's called, in my library here, it's called AMA1 Complete Edition. And I believe it's Amazonic, but someone's going to have to correct me. I can make that sound at home. Sounds like a little... Yeah, a lot of this is just studio chairs unleashed. It's a bit low. That's cool. Like things like that, I feel... Wait, let me pose this and this. Things like this, I feel would actually be kind of cool, like in textures. Let me just black hole this for a second. I'm not going to leave this on. You know what I mean? Like with a bit of like tailed reverb, you can create quite an atmosphere with this, I think. Yeah, it's kind of a cool vibe, actually. Let me turn that off. I'm not sure where I would ever use that, but that was sort of pleasing to listen to. Did anyone else get that? Like it was like, oh, it's quite nice on my ears. This company is like one of the only ones I can think of who doesn't put their company name or any information, any identifying information on the UI. And if they're watching, like developers, if you're watching, it's worth putting them on, like putting at least your company name and the name of the product on the UI so that people who are watching streams or other people work can immediately look and see what it is. Because right now, there's no way of knowing at all what it is. Oh, man. Yeah, the relaxation music makers are going to have a field day with this. You're sitting on an endless beach. Just having these little things always give that vibe, though, you know? I'm in. I actually really like that rhythm. It's very Brazilian. What reverb are they using? Root send effects. What are we using? Convolution. So they're running it through a wood room convolution. Always have to check. Yeah, it's got a cool tribal bit. Let's listen to some of these microphones. What's the close mic like? It's like underneath. And then the overhead. So this is like the extent of most people sampling just having an overhead. Yeah, with the whistles. Whenever I hear a whistle, I always think of that scene in White Chicks where Terry Crews is dancing. I don't know why I think that. I don't know why that comes to mind at all. I haven't seen that film in years. But alas, $50,000 cash. That will stick with me till the day I die for no reason. Oh, does anybody need the bathroom? Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm just going to leave this running in the background. Can I hold the sustain pedal? Oh, I can. Oh, good luck. Good luck. I'm joking. Who's this geezer? Oh, get him piped up on the UI, look. The bloke was like, look, this is my instrument. I built it. It's my leaf. It's my leaf. I want to be on the UI. And they're like, okay, but we're going to cut off half your face. Literally, it's this bloke with a leaf. Love it. It's a bloke with a bit of grass. I love it. I love the boldness of it. Oh, my dog doesn't like it, though. Oh, these sound good. These will be good in reverb. Right, let me just put on... For things like this, I often find it's good to have like some sort of background. So let me just put on some Spitfire in the background. These things are usually... I'm just going to put that on in the background. It's like a G. All right, let me try and keep that running in the background. Didn't hold that time for some reason. Right. I kind of like that that's completely out of pitch. It sounds like a horror. There it is. It's in no particular key by the sounds of it. Right, what else we got? It doesn't sound quite as epic, just clean. Sounds like when you're trying to pull on leather trousers. Anyway, not that that's... What? A glimpse into my life, though. Let's put that in black hole. Just adds vibe, doesn't it? Oh, went the wrong way. Similar vibes. Just having a shaken. I like the vibe. Are those measured? Let's check. Put it down to 90. At 180. Yeah, they're tempo synced. These are just the textures, by the way. I'm getting some serious ASMR from this. Are you guys? How many of you are wearing headphones? It's a little frog. So these are like just to add those little vibes in there. Sounds like The Grudge. Oh, I like this. In the black hole. You can make some awesome sound out of this thing, man. Just adds that little texture, doesn't it? That little something. Such a cool vibe. Like the thing is, by the way, guys, like something I don't mention enough. Remember when you hear sounds like this, which sound like nothing at first. Always think, what would it sound like if I put this through guitar amp? What would this sound like if I put it through a long reverb? What would it sound like if I put it through a spring reverb? What would it sound like if I put it through, I don't know, a resonator, a rhythm? Because like something like this, right? Sounds cool, but like even just tuning it down. Can give it a completely new vibe. Let's go mental with it. Here it comes. You know what I mean? Like you can take it to completely new places. That I probably wouldn't use. That was a bit too low. Probably go down here though. You know what I mean? Like that can really, particularly if you put some distortion or something on that. Oh. Isn't that Terminator? No. That's dun 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 dun. Similar vibes. Similar vibes. Just having that drone in the background really helps, doesn't it? What happens if we detune it? It sounded really disappointed in us. and then the offside at the end. Right, so that was the textures. How are you guys feeling? Okay, so we're one category down. Textures. How do we feel so far? How are we feeling so far, lads? Textures done. Now let me move this over so you can see. So that was just the textures done. So that is basically a collection, it seems, of like small instruments, small sounds that make like, as the name says, like these kind of textural vibes that you would add on top of like a rhythm or something to give that flair, to give that flavor. These are not the ones you'd use very often. Right, let's try some low woodwind. The thing about this library is there's so much to it. Jesus. Right, okay. Right, so let's get some background drone going. Right, so the background drone coming from Spitfire's contemporary drama toolkit there, just to make it so we have context for these. Okay, so these ones are just short little bursts, no legato or anything, it seems. One second, guys. My wife is doing something behind me. Okay. Right, so what key was that actually playing in? Got it first time. I'm hearing it as like an whatever that note was. Oh, dude, that's it. That's a scene right there, isn't it? I wish it had like sustains on these. Maybe that's just how the instruments are played. Well, it can't be because they're playing legato there essentially. Did I mention that 30% of the sales of goes to the Amazon musicians that perform? No, I didn't mention that because I didn't know that. That's awesome. So a lot of these are just loops, but I'm okay with that. Holy fuck, I love the sound of this. How about if we detune that? deep. That's a really great sound. A cancao. That's not as pleasing. It's like one of those ones when you need to use the bathroom, you need to get home and use the bathroom, and you're doing that thing where you do the clench walk, and then like you take the first step. Oh, shit! I gotta get. Oh no. Oh goodness! You know, like sorry. You knew it was going to come down to jokes like that. You knew that's what it was going to come down to with a sound like that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. This sounds like Valhalla. Oh, with the overhead, it goes so much more stereo. I've definitely been there, mate. This is the complete version. They sent it to me for review. Like, just quickly, I want to put, I know I'm putting effects and stuff, and that's not the point. But one of the ways that I show libraries is how I would use them in context. And I just want to see what it would sound like if we put like an infinite delay on that. Not infinite, but like as good as. Well, we'll make this quarter note and this a dotted eighth. Like, I could totally turn that into a thing. You know what, I'd probably, though, with this one, if it was me, I mean, it is me. I don't know why I keep saying if it was me, as if I'm not sitting at my own computer. I'd probably detune it. Me to put OTT on it? Off? Before or after the reverb? Your call. Before or after the reverb? Whoever says first is what's going to get it. After. Okay. May God have mercy on your soul. Let's just That's a cool sound. Like, I'd probably put playing with the normal sounds. Sorry. So that was the low. That was the low woodwinds. Let's listen to some high woodwinds. Are you guys still in after the low woodwinds? Oh, we know this instrument. What? Still got my fucking... Just seeing if it's actually in tune there. It is. Oh, that with all the effects on. Like that's... I wish that had legato. It's a nice sound though. Same one. I don't know why that's funny to me. Right. Is it that key? I probably wouldn't use that one much. This one definitely needs. Yeah, it is Mr. Otterpole. Mr. Otterpole. Oh, I like the sound of this. Yes! It's one of these ones. What key is that? G? Not really. Yeah. Okay. Everything right? What's it for? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. My wife had to tell me some things. Well, I like this one. Well, that's a scary one. I wish these were legato, or at least sustained. So cool. Battlefield, dun 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 dun. Now see, this one's... I wish there was more consistency, so it's either all loops or all stabs or all, you know what I mean? But at the minute, it's like a difference between like long notes, short notes, and some have like loads of things. But the thing is, it sounds like it's got enough instruments sounds, enough like phrases and things that it definitely justifies you having it for those moments when you need that ethnic. It's like that. I know that doesn't sound important, but having that kind of sound played live, you know what I mean? You just can't recreate it with samples. It just adds that texture. Wait, that's a different one. Like, that is a cool line, but it's very specific. Sounds like the last one. Oh, that's a cool sound. That does sound quite Australian, that one, didn't it? Can I pitch that? Right, that would be cool with a pitch on it. You know what I mean? Like at the end, like that. Always makes a sound. Black hole is a reverb. This one's really cool at just creating like a really dangerous sound. In the background, we've got Spitfire Contemporary Drama Toolkit, just holding a pad so we can play things contextually over the top of it. And this is back to the beginning, isn't it? It's a pretty decent price on the sails. Raise the sails, everybody. Yeah, we already did these ones. So that's the high woodwinds. Oh god, we got some voice. Here he is. Come on, son, what you got? I feel like it's gonna be. That's not the key you're singing in. B. That's what it sounds like when a woman walks into a pub with too many blokes in it. This isn't a voice. That's a pipe. This bloke's taking liberties. Doesn't matter how hard you blow it, mate, it's still a pipe. That's not your voice. You see, like that feels very ominous. And that's what it sounds like when I'm doing an overview for you guys. And I do something you guys like, and I'm like, are you guys in? And you're like, yeah. That's how I imagine you guys. Oh, this geezer. He looks well happy. Right, that's not the key you're singing in. Is it that? Are you singing in that key? No. I'll be honest, I probably won't use these. Yeah, the voice things are too specific for what I would use them for anyway, so I probably wouldn't use those. I mean, they're cool that they're there, but like I feel with vocals, you need to be quite vague, because if you get too specific with vocals, you're just playing the same part. Right, what we got here? Black hole for everything? No, not at all. Okay, it looks like what we've got here is... No, wrong one. Major? No, sorry, minor. Major. Augmented. So that would be good for when you've just got those things, you know, those moments where you just need to be like, what do I like about Black Hole? Because it just sounds like this. And it goes forever. I do like the sound of it though. Oh, long notes. Cool vibes. Again, a bit specific. Cool vibe though. Wouldn't use it that much. So this is almost like just a harp. Probably wouldn't use this much either. Quiet. Okay, so the softer you push these, the longer it sustains. And if you push hard, it's like to a stop. So you could definitely put that in. Like the thing with sounds like this, you know, where you've got like you just got like an individual chord, is usually you'd put it on a downbeat, like you know what I mean? It doesn't have to keep playing a rhythm. So things like this where it hits on an individual note is actually fine. Like the only issue I can see, because the sounds are incredible, but the only issue I can see so far is it's hard to find anything specific. Do you know what I mean? It's like with this, I feel like what you'd be doing is saying, I feel like I want this kind of instrument, and then seeing what samples are available to you. Because it would be impossible to remember which patch does what type of effect. You know what I mean? Like this is the only one that does this kind of thing so far. So it'd be difficult to actually like intentionally write something specific. At the minute, all these extras feel more like textures, you know what I mean? Like extra sounds that you would put over the top of what you've already written in order to give what you've written that flavor. Like that's its own chord progression. I'm still pushing one key. You know what I mean? That's a bit too specific. Like, instead, it would have been cool to have that technique, but on every key. But again, I don't know if this was the point of the library. I don't think the point of the library was to do... Oh, wait, I already did the charango, didn't I? But anyway. I have Pro R reverb, Mr. Otterpaw. I don't use it very much. Right, that was the pluck string. So now let's move over to the low percussion. So this is going to be tricky because they have a lot of percussion. How much percussion do they have? So how do we do this? Just put some down, just play it in. Is that in time? I can't tell if I played that off the beat or if it's just not tempo synced. We'll see in a second. I could just push legato on this. I didn't have to hold and wait for that. So we have a rhythm to play over. Because like if I just keep moving the loops. Is this one not a loop? No, that sounds more just like a thing, doesn't it? I do love how clean these are, though. Is that tempo synced? No. I'm curious why you put some stuff in the quick load the same way it appears in the files. Why not just use the files list? What, on the left here? I'm not sure what you're asking there, Clay. Why do I use the quick load as opposed to this thing on the left? Because not all libraries load on the left, if that's what you're asking. The files tab, because the files tab is like a whole system structure. Am I on the right one? Oh, God. That's why. So the loops for this one are here. Let's put it at 120. For now, I'm just using their loops to see what the vibe is together. Where's the loops on this one? Oh, I like that. Man, I could totally build around that. Like if I brought up my actual section. I'm curious, is that a tempo synced? Like, that's so cool. Like, there's one thing that's worth remembering, particularly when it comes to like ethnic percussion. One of the things that gives ethnic percussion like its feel, like its actual vibe, its actual the thing that transports you is usually the rhythms and the way in which they're played, which is also very difficult to program. So that's why things like djembe or just basic like Middle Eastern drums, like all of the Middle Eastern drums, what are they called? Like, is it Kajong? I can't remember. Whatever, like the ones you put under your arm. They're played a specific way. So usually when you buy things like that, you want to be using, I mean, like it's cool to have the individual options. No, not tablas. That's Indian. Isn't it? Oh, I don't fucking know. But yeah, so when you talking drum, frame drum, no, you guys are like the Middle Eastern, darbuka, thank you, Jesus Christ. The darbuka. They have a very specific way of playing, which is very hard to replicate with samples. You can do it, and it's cool to have the individual hits so that you can layer it in your own rhythms. But usually with things like this, the loops are actually better because like if you were to live in that country and write music, you would more often than not use these types of rhythms anyway. So having them as a loop isn't a bad thing. It's not going to change your compositional intent. That's always the most important thing. So long as the music turns out the way you intended it from the get-go, you're not just relying on it to tell you what to do, then it's fine. But you know what I mean? Like within 5 minutes, we've got that there, and then we could put something like the pattern strings over the top of it. Let's see what that works. Because I picked that up the other day. Where is it? Samples, pattern strings. Let's see if this actually loads. Watch it crash everything. Oh, goodness. That load time, though, look at that. Yeah, we won't be doing that. I definitely need to battery save that one. Right, so wait. I'm gonna swap out this bottom one. So this one's, let's check them out. So like this kind of beige color is the loops. Thanks for the stream. Regarding making popular music, is there anything specific you do to maintain focus and not just discard something? I just don't like this. I discard things all the time. Hey, thank you. Oh, God. Flick Shop Music for subscribing. I appreciate it. Wait, let me just spam you with some face icons, as is tradition. How do you, in regards to making popular music, is there any specific thing you do to maintain focus? Hey, Lab West, thank you for subscribing too. There's nothing specific I do. It's just, like I was saying earlier, you have to use your ears. So being a composer is knowing what good music sounds like to you, and then presenting your version of how music should be, or at least how you feel music should be. You present that to the world. Like when I write music, it resonates strongly with me. That's not to say that it's the best music in the world. It just means that for whatever reason, the music resonates and feels emotional with me. Yannick the Dank Fist, thank you for subscribing. You guys are really trying to make me not have this statement. I appreciate it. We got a hype train going. What was I saying? I've forgotten. Let's listen to some drums. Right, let me go back and change some of these out. Yeah, that was it. Resonating with you. So as a composer, it's your job to make people... Sorry, so to listen to music, like when you listen to music, there will be a certain resonation of certain types of music with you. That's why different people like different types of music. It's all contextual. A lot of the time it's to do with life events, like a certain type of music will be playing when we have a particularly profound experience in life, and then forever we have a profound relationship to that music. And that's the point. And like as a composer, we're supposed to take those moments And like in that moment, we can say without a shadow of a doubt that I felt something when I heard that music. It may have been the situation, but whenever I hear that music now, it makes me feel this way. And as a composer, it's sort of your job to try and share that feeling that you experienced with other people, to try and recreate it so that they can understand the world in which you live, which has been defined by these musical characteristics. That's why, you know, people often sound like their favorite composers, because they're writing the music that when they finish it, they're like, I like that. It resonates. It says what I want it to say. Even if someone else doesn't understand it, you know, as a composer, that's what it says. And then other people, it's up to other people to try and, you know, get your your emotional response out there. That's your job, to kind of present that to them, to see if they consume it in that way. And if they interpret it a different way, that's always interesting to see. But as a composer, that's what I'm saying. So you're asking about focus. It's literally know what feels good to you, and then always aim to do that, you know? So like that's where you focus. You focus on what sounds good to you. Don't focus on what sounds good in the charts or what's popular right now, because if it's popular right now, you've already missed the train. It's like playing stocks and then buying high, you know, like it's already run its course. It's already like people trying to get on synthwave and cyberpunk now. You know what I mean? It's already sort of, it's a fad, not a fad, but like it's had its moment in the sun. It's moved on. If that's the kind of music you write, though, you know, you can still keep presenting it to the world, but maybe try and find a new angle that, you know, brings it more modern. Bring along what you loved about those older musical genres. Bring what you loved about dubstep, what you loved about trap, what you loved about, and bring that forward into the things you love now and the things you're working on. What is it about those things that made you feel the way that will allow you to express it in this piece of music? For example, like I used to be in a rock band when I was a kid, and now whenever I get like a rock track that I have to write for a movie or a game, you know, I already sort of know how, like, the types of rock that resonated with me, and so I have a good, like, emotional shorthand to say what I want to say because I've experienced it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just make sure you have experiences for everything in all the genres, you know? Just something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Right. This library looks great. All the drums multi-sampled. The drums are, I believe, multi-sampled, yeah. Yeah, the green ones are the multi-samples. Oh, you can't see, sorry. Green ones are the multi-samples. Down at the bottom. Blue ones are like effects. Beige ones are loops, which are the ones I would probably use the most with this ethnic type instrument. And then effects at the end, where they've trapped Dave in the timpani. Poor Dave. So a bit of OTT on the top there. Hey, thanks for subscribing. Hey, we hit another hype train. I don't know what that means. I never know what that means, but it's always fun when we do. Hype de Garve. Right, let's go to the next one. Right, so this one isn't in the thing. So let's change these to different rhythms just so keep it a bit fresh. My goodness, I can't see anything. Everything's in the way. Okay, I just need to be able to see the MIDI notes, Christ's sake. Right, and then this one, which is our latest. No, this is our latest one down here on number 4. Let's put this on a rhythm. We got any fast ones? Oh, I like that. Da-da, da-da. I mean, we could try doing that, actually. Or we could get this going, like, brrr. Get it going, brrr, down in the bass. Because, yeah, instead of just listening to a drum rhythm over and over again. No, not what I wanted to do. then what I'll have them do is I'll have them change second time round. And then here on the brass, we'll put the black hole, but we'll also bring in the textures. I like, what was it? It was like down here somewhere. Wasn't that? Is it one of these? I just literally loaded the same thing. Thomas the Dank Engine. God damn it. That's too funny. Thomas the Dank Engine. Who came up with that? Let's try putting those in a room. I'm curious. Presets. Do we have like a percussion? Wait, did they have like instrument? Let's have percussion maybe? Orchestral percussion. Let's try it. Okay. And then we could put let's put the chords of this one. 3. Dun, 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 dun. Half note triplets, probably why they're not on the beat. And then maybe like some sort of arpeggio that we control. So we could use the charango. Didn't it have long notes? It did. Nah, I don't like that at all. Don't like that at all, Dan. You just quit while you're behind. Useless. You're useless. Panpipes always take me back to like 90s Zimmer. I wonder what the voice sounds like. Should we put our geezer back in? Let's see what he sounds like. Is he having fun? I mean, that sort of kind of worked. No, it doesn't. I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't for what we're doing here, does it? Let's be honest. Mawakao Macho. What was that? Right, Battlefield. Dun, dun, dun. I love the way those things work. Right, let me add some more. We haven't got to the high percussion yet, so let's add some of those in. Like the one thing I'll say is these low percussion samples are really clean and really nice. Oh, we got mid percussion too. There's so much fucking percussion. Surdos, we got these. These are usually big sounding. And then where'd it go? Why does Cubase do that? Like clearly I didn't want to be looking over there at nothing. Cool vibe to slow it down there. Let's keep that going. Right. This one's got a lot of loops. I'm on the wrong one. That's the one. We'll go with an F. Nice. Tambor de Marim. What? All the names. That was kind of cool. Like if I was to just split that up into like quarter notes like this. Oh. Like it would add a nice at the beginning of everything. That's not what we want to be doing. We're trying out them loops so that you get an idea of how they sound in context together. Is that just how that's played? Oh wait, no, I'm looking at something weird, and oh, that adds the nice groove to it. Okay, we definitely need to start adding some higher instruments. I feel like we've got the low end covered, but right, he's getting his own show. I'm on the wrong one. Which one was I on? Just wanted that. It's my lazy way of doing things. Just legato everything. Right, and then so we go from this and we break down. Bad idea. That's what I wanted. I wonder if we can play 2 loops of this thing. Yeah, we'll just change this one up the second time. So what I'm doing right now, for those just wondering, is I'm literally just trying to find some decent loops that work together. I like that. So that you can hear what all of the instruments kind of playing together and against each other feels like. No, you're a little bit too Brazilian. Nice. That doesn't need to be so aggressive at the beginning. Legato that. So we do the okay. So that's all the low perk. Now let's get some mid perk up in here. Right, so we want track 11. Are you getting them rainforest vibes? I like that as a speed up. I'm just, you see, like I'm building up with the percussion. Ooh, what does this sound like? I like the look of it. Oh, you can't see it. Lol. Right, number 12. Oh, it's a snare. Probably have to put it way down. Probably wouldn't use this one much. Got legato that. They're working quite well together, which is cool. God, I wish I wouldn't have to open that every time. Right, where were we? Low percussion. We were in the mid percussion. Repeat. How does this sound? I'm gonna have to do this one live because I'm gonna do it like offbeat. Right, now if I get those actually on the beat, that would make it work. So if you could all just, get on your quarter notes, that'd be great. That's what you do. It's an alternate. Like that. Actually, that's the way wrong. That's what it should be. One second, let me just save this. Amazon, the company. I'm enjoying where we are with this one. I don't know why we zoomed in on my face, but hello, here we are. That works. I like that as a groove. So we can use that. We'll bring that back later. We'll bring it back here. And you can keep going. Just adds like a which is a weird way of singing it, but it exists now. God, we're going to fill up this whole thing with percussion. I love it. Right. Samples, AMA, instruments, mid-percussion. Where do we get up to? Tabaquina. Tambor de agua. I'm not even going to try and pronounce. It's an ashtray with some balls in it. Nice. I'm on the wrong channel. Oof. I mean, it sounds accurate. A ball tray, if you will. How does an ashtray with balls in it sound like that? Oh, you can't see it. There you go. I didn't use it. Yeah, I know. I used the other one by mistake, but it's okay. I'll get to it in a second. Kind of like that. I wonder if we could use it off like that. I will get to the tabaquina in a second. Probably wouldn't use it, to be honest, that much. It's not a sound that I'm using right now, so I'm going to take that out. Right, let's actually go to this, see what we were supposed to do with it. That's it. We meant to use this one, didn't we? Where's your loops? Same thing. I'm not just using this as a loop. I'm going to... meant to be offbeat. So this one's got lots of, again, sorry, you can't see it. Like normally that's where I put my contact. This is how I usually work, by the way, on a single screen. I have like what I'm working on the left-hand side of the screen. And then I have like my contact window on the right in front of me. But I just realized that you can't see what I'm actually looking at. So I'm gonna have to cover it up like that. Like this one has lots of yellow, which is effects. So like if you're playing... You know what I mean? Just by doing that, in fact, I can just do that right now. I was just spamming the key, and then if I get it on in time. I think they're actually better if they're not on beat 1. So maybe... No, actually, I don't like it. I've changed my mind. Right, let's try the next one of those. My mind has been changed. By the way, these are still running through my east-west thing. Let me turn that off. This is what it is with it off. Like it's super clean with it on. I'm just basically adding a bit of room to it. Just gives it a bit of room, but just so you guys know, that's what it sounds like with the verb on. Let's try just dragging one of these in. All right, so it's like... I actually kind of like doing it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting, because they're loops, I'm triggering them off beat so that you end up with a different rhythm. So it's like... Which doesn't sound too amazing by itself, but when you look at when it comes in during the beat, it just gives it an extra layer, you know? Oh, helps if you unsolo everything. You see what I mean? Like it gives it like an extra little oomph, a little push forward. Which I like. No, we don't want that. Mid. Right, so what was that one? That was Kuomea Mena. There's so many percussion instruments in this. I love it. Right, so these are the bigger ones. Is that what this is going to be? On there like that, and then maybe turn that up. This needs more than one, doesn't it? But not that one. No, not the triplet feel. There's a vibe. Right, what's this little stick going to bring to the party? Helps if you're on the right track. Similar vibes. A lot of them have the very similar vibe. Like I couldn't tell these apart just by hearing them. That's what she said. What did I say? I mean, I talk a lot, so it's hard to remember everything. So I'll just bring you in halfway through. that higher note there. That one. Let's pull that in. Oh, it's quite nice, but I'm only going to bring it in the second time. In fact, put another one in there, actually. I like the way it feels. Right. What? That's what she said. I need to stop saying that. We're in a different world. You can't make jokes anymore. All right. Jokes are from the devil. Oh, interesting. And it was going well up until that last note. Right, so I actually don't like that. Sounded awesome here, but I want this to just be. Actually, it kind of works, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it needs it, but we could probably turn it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's quiet enough to keep it going without... Glock de Castanha? Castanha. One of these times it'll just be an English word and I'll just won't be able to pronounce it. It's like when someone says, how do you spell yes? Y-E-S. That was it. What does Y-E-S spell? Yes. What does E-Y-E-S spell? And for some reason people say E-S. It's like it's eyes. You fool. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where it says eyes, but you can't read it for some reason. Right, so we've got a lot going on up here. So let's bring in this thing. Instant Brazil. Don't worry about it being out of time. All we have to do is cut it in time and then we're good to go. That's one of the things I love. Like, I don't know if that's a default setting, but I have my Cubase set to, if I cut a MIDI clip, it cuts the MIDI data within it. The reason I did that is I used to have MIDI clips that had data like way back, but then I would cut it. But then that MIDI data that was still in the MIDI, even though the clip wasn't that long, would still play. So wherever I cut, it cuts the MIDI. So if I start early, but it's a loop, all I need to do is cut it on the beat and then it'll be in time like this. I played that out of time, but... That is instant Brazil. We need the whistle. Like, we're just constantly building on this tapestry of sound. Like, I love it. Like, and this is a legit way. Like, if I was writing a cue, this would be a legit way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, building up my my sounds, the sounds I'm going to use, I'd probably build up a percussion thing like this. And then I would, once I have like certain riffs and stuff with the drum loops, I would render them out as separate loops and then import them into like, loop cloud or into Project Chaos or whatever, and then mess with them even further so they're a bit more hybrid sound designy. But you can hear like how clean, like and punchy they are just by themselves. Yeah, I feel like the point of this library is a percussion library, by the way. So I've put the pads and the textures and stuff there, but we went through those. Okay, cool, we got some of that in there. I actually wouldn't mind another shaker. There you go. That is correct. That is correct. That is what I was going for. Oh, my right leg literally just went completely to sleep. Oh. Ow. I'm sitting at a weird angle. Are they all loops? How are the single hits are the same as what you're hearing in the loops? The only reason I use the loops is there's certain, like the thing is, when you're programming rhythm, obviously I program my big drums and things like that all the time. But more often than not, you end up going back to certain kinds of loops. So, I mean, particularly with ethnic instruments, and I'll say this again, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again, with ethnic instruments, a lot of what makes them sound special is the way that they're played. It's not just the drum itself. It's not just you change the instrument and everything changes. It's that they are playing it in a very particular way, which in the West, we don't usually play it. Like, again, like the darbukas and the Middle Eastern drums are played in a very particular rhythm, a particular way. So when you're using instruments like that, it's usually best to lean on the loops of it a bit more when they're played by authentic players, because you're going to get a more authentic feel. And the point is you would, like, if you were programming the rhythm, you would want to program the types of rhythm they've put in the loops, because that is what makes it sound authentic. So if you're going to be doing that kind of loop anyway, why not just use the live loop? Then it's a real player playing it. And it's like, if that's what you were going to do anyway, it doesn't matter, because your compositional intent has not changed. By the way, I'm the only person I ever hear say the word compositional intent. Is that just a bad phrase or something? Does it not make sense? Because I never see anyone else use it. And to me, it makes the most sense when talking about it, because compositional intent is just what you meant to do with what you're writing, but no one ever mentions it. Weird. Maybe I'm just mental. There is every bit of evidence to suggest. Are you? Oh, we're on the wrong one. Bye. Bit of what? Multi-sub. Well, you don't. The thing is like with a loop, like if the loop is dum digga dum, you know what I mean? There's only, like, you could program that yourself, but if someone plays it, you get the resonance, because you have to remember it's about physics, basically. It's like sound isn't the instrument. The instrument manipulates the air around it. That's how sound is generated. So if you hit a drum, right, it's going to be difficult to explain, but if you hit a drum, all the sound waves come off in like an arc. Imagine dropping one pebble into water and it goes off like that. Whereas if you hit a drum and then you follow up with another drum, doom da dum, right, doom da doom. Imagine the air coming out as you hit it again, right? So that sound's bouncing off the reflection, but now you've got another sound coming up. So what's going to happen is the second drum hits sound waves will interact and create turbulent air with the reflections coming back from the first hit. And even in the air, it depends on the shape of the drum, shape on the room. You can have it interacting around the drum. So you always end up with a more natural feeling. It's hard to explain why, but it's like when you look at a 3D model of a character and it looks great, but there's something wrong. Like that's sort of what happens when you're playing individual drum hits. most people wouldn't care, to be honest. It's only musicians that would notice. But it's because when you hit that second note, and I think it was Sound Iron maybe did it, they had like a timpani, which they recorded it so that if it would be able to tell, like if you're hitting it for the first time, you get a clean hit. But if you're hitting the drum for the second time, they recorded every hit that was played after another hit with the drum already vibrating. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so because it's already vibrating, it's already pushing air up. So not only is the stick coming through the sound waves towards the drum to hit it again, going to affect and create a turbulent displacement of the sound waves coming off the drum the first time, you will literally be slicing through the middle of it with your second drum hit. It will also impact any sound waves coming back and any sound waves going out. So you're actually changing how it sounds if you play a round robin while the drum head is already vibrating. That's going to be a different sound. So that's why I generally tend to lean into loops on ethnic things, particularly if they're a background element. Like I always use big drums for my accents, because my accents are very important to the actual musical phrases that I'm writing. But if it's background, just kind of keeping the rhythm, getting the pulse going, I will use loops like 9 times out of 10 because they're more authentic sounding and they're not any different than what I would have programmed. In fact, like a lot of the time, like I always say with sample libraries, no one can remember every technique, every rhythm, every melody at all times. Sometimes these things just jog your memory and you're like, oh yeah, there's rhythms like that we can do. I'm going to just use the loop. So that's all it was. That's all I wanted to say. I feel it's important. Compositional intent is always the most important. Let's try this one. Right, so that loop was, where is it? Yeah, like it's dum, but because you see, like I'm playing it offbeat, so I'm using the natural built-in rhythm to create a new offbeat rhythm within it. Because that's what you have to think. It's not using loops isn't just putting all the loops on top of each other all the time. It's offbeating them, finding the parts within the loop that is interesting, that can add something. Sometimes you could have a drum loop that's like, but you just want that. So then like you've got your thing and then you just cut the and you can use that in there. That's still using a loop, but it says what you want it to say, Right. Because it's loops, I have to actually start on the beat though. Yeah, that won't work there. It's too busy there. Yeah, there we go. It works better there. Let's try changing it. You see, that adds a little rhythm. I haven't heard me beatbox before. It's not very good. A lot of the time, you just have to try and keep the rhythm. My brother's a good beatboxer. I don't know why that's a skill that he decided to pick up. He would always teach me though, like whenever he says, whenever you do the snare, don't go k, you have to go like because a snare has the tss on the end, like the you know what I mean? You need to hit it like an actual snare. You need the click. Why isn't that playing? Moto de cantro. Centro. I don't know why I'm putting the accent on it. Right, so where are the... Oh, this one. That's the kind of rhythm. Booga digga 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 boog. can loop though. I just have it there as like a little build. And you see, just little things like this can help keep your tracks sound interesting. You know what I mean? Just this loop's going for 4 times. You know what I mean? If I was to put something over it. Just takes your ear somewhere different. That's where you go quiet and then you come with everything in. That's like everything playing together. Love me a loop. Now, what would happen if we were to put like some like Hans Zimmer percussion on the downbeat? Makes that fall off my desk. Sort of worked, right? Sort of worked. Makes it feel a bit more full. Okay. I see what I did. 16th. You need to go to the left. All right. Because you need to have like everything in there really. do actually want to load up that project strings thing. What was it called? Not project strings. No, not performance samples, pattern strings. Might take a minute to open. I don't know why. Maybe I need to battery save it. That's a very strong possibility. But if that's the case, so what do you guys think of Amazonic so far? We've listened to everything in the library. I think it sounds great. So in terms of things I would use it for, obviously the percussion is immediately going in with all the Saga drums, or pretty much all of those clean type drums I've ever shown you. This is going into my perk template because it has that clean sound, but it also has the loops to go with it. And the cool thing, again, with loops, particularly if one that doesn't have a lot of accents, is if you have the loops and the samples on the same one, you can just add the accents over the top of the loop, which is very, very useful. So yeah, you got the thing on top of the loop. Like the extra effects and the textures, like unfortunately the Winds doesn't have any like legato or anything like that. It has a few of the shorts. So what it feels like, it's sort of like the same sort of idea as Metropolis Arc 3, if you guys remember that, where it's like, it is what it is, but it's all sort of aimed around percussion. It's all it's all based around percussive elements. So even though like some of the, like the woodwind has legato in its effects, the effects are meant to be played as part of a rhythmic section. You know what I mean? I don't think it's designed to be played in some sort of, I don't know how you would describe it. Yeah, it's not designed to be played naturally. It's designed to be played rhythmically.